It's locked in.
What? WGN
Monday
9:30.
morning. 9. Well, yeah, whenever.
Let's
And then
set
I'll be
your DVRs.
So yeah, that right. I watched WGN in the morning, but the news very much in Savannah was much lighter than Chicago news on
there's
any
been
morning.
A cool breeze today.
It's like there's no neck. Like literally today, there was a neck stabbing.
What? Oh.
I'm like, did you have to say neck stabbing? Why can't you just go with just normal stabbing so I could start my day in my coffee?
You could start bracing your neck.
Anyway, I'm watching as well. Besides Terminal List in Savannah. My pick of the week, Emily.
What?
Welcome to Wexham.
What is that?
It's about the Welsh Football Club.
Oh, Lord.
Yes. It's about the Welsh Football Club, second oldest in all of Britannia, that is purchased by one Ryan Reynolds, famous Canadian Hollywood movie star.
Oh, wow.
And the guy from Always Sunny in Philadelphia,
Wait, is it
Rob
like
McElhenney.
A docu-series?
Yes, it's a docu-series, and they're only doing one a week, which is, I think, always a good indication of a quality show. It's Ted Lasso meets Ted Lasso, but in a docu-series. I highly recommend it.
Okay.
It's the people are endearing, like what they do for this community, which is like the equivalent of kind of like a Rust Belt, down and out, Welsh town, and the Welsh language is interesting.
Well, they have a very specific accent, and then they kind of have. Don't they have like some sort of weird Gaelic situation?
No, there's a Welsh language, Emily.
I don't know,
and you'll learn all about this, but highly recommend it. The guys are because you're gonna watch it.
I will watch it. Actually, this sounds right up my alley.
Currently, 3 episodes in. 4th one dropped last night.
What's the
I'm
rating
giving it
system?
8.973. Oh, wow. Cold water camping videos with sizzling bacon audio tracks.
Oh, that is good.
It's like mom's like listening in the other bedroom. She just hears bacon sizzling. Like, what are you doing in there, Gus?
I think we should ask does anybody have anything
really
good they're watching? Any good recommendations?
Yes, big time.
Hold on.
Who's got one?
Well, Bert's got another.
Oh
my God, here he goes.
Why is Bert all the way in the back?
The new Lord of the Rings show.
Okay.
Rings of Power.
A lot of controversy about this. What are your feelings on it, Bert?
I like it. I mean, it's different from the original. It's only 2 episodes in. They're guaranteed 5 seasons. So 50 hours of Lord of the Rings. It's insane.
That's too much.
They're only 2. Well, no, I don't think so. I think it's too little.
Is it better than the new prequel for Game of Thrones? Have you watched that?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. They're both what? Game of Thrones is 3 episodes. This is 2 episodes. We'll see. I mean, they're just developing the characters. And Emily's friends actually in Rings of Power.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, that's right. Cynthia,
she's
right?
a main character in it. So I'm excited.
She's the queen. Yeah, so a bit.
I know. I mean, I love it. The graphics. I mean, technology is different. I mean, the first Lord of the Rings came out 20 years ago.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So technology is just way more advanced now. So.
All right, Bert. How many Betty the Storytelling Gumads do you give it? 10 Betty Storytelling Gumads being the pinnacle, top tier, peak television. 1 being terrible.
Right now, I'll give it a 9.
I'm sorry. Give it 9 what?
Betty.
Say, I'm giving it 9 Betty.
I'm giving it 9 Betty.
Storytelling Gumads.
Storytelling Gumads.
Yeah, there you go. He worked on Taylor Street for a long time.
I know, he did.
He was actually there today.
Oh my God. Yeah, he used to work for our daddy.
For our daddy.
Our daddy.
Actually, I managed your condo as well.
Yeah, that's right. In University Village.
Yes.
Sorry about that. I'll get that to you. I'll get that fee to you. I know it's been 20 years. But,
oh, wow.
Thank you for all your service to this fine country.
Yes. Beating that. Does anybody else have a show that they want to share?
Oh, we got one here in the middle. Here. Oh, introduce yourself. Tell us where you're from and how you got here.
So I'm Suzanne, and I'm from Glen Ellen.
Oh wow.
Yes. I mean, so far from Elmhurst. But so I'm living in my in-laws' basement currently.
I've been there.
Because we sold our home and are waiting for our home to be done. And I have no television. So I've gotten desperate. And Peaky Blinders, my daughter told me about, and I watch, and it is very addicting.
And there's like a lot of seasons to ingest at this point, right? How many seasons are?
I don't know how many. I mean, I'm just starting, but I'm into it. So
That's
I would
with,
recommend that.
That's the British. Cillian Murphy.
Cillian, yes. He's got a very interesting face. It's very small and pointy, but
hey, how did
attractive.
Susan, right? Was it Susan? How did you win the contest?
No, Kathy did.
Kathy won the contest.
The chef. Kathy's the.
Kathy,
she's so great.
Come say hi, Kathy. Are you from Glen Ellen? Do you live in your in-laws' basement too?
I do not. Thankfully, I don't.
Kathy, we met at the farmers market. Nice to see you again.
Yeah, nice to see you too.
That was fun, right?
It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
So many people, a great turnout.
Awesome
You
turnout.
never know what you're going to get at the Lyle French Market.
No. Well, no, you never know. Oh my God.
What are you watching these days?
Okay, so I just started The Patient.
Yes!
With Steve Carell.
Did you watch the last episode?
No, I didn't see Mondays.
It's insane.
No. I mean,
I didn't watch the last one either.
My gosh.
It's
it's a nail biter. It's suspenseful. Like, if you have anxiety, like I wouldn't recommend you watching it, or take a Xanax.
Yeah, pop a couple Xanchas and get to that work.
But yes, so the first 2 episodes,
because it's like 23 minutes long.
Easy breezy.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Dad, you would probably. Did you watch it yet? No,
It doesn't sound like a dad show.
No,
I don't
that's
think
too
Dad
much.
would-
That's the opposite of sizzling bacon on the cold water
Yeah.
Sam shows.
So anyway, I would give it a 9. Betty storytelling Goombas.
Goombas.
But you're close
Goomba's
enough.
racist. Goombas. This good.
Goombas.
Like she did it. She
Yeah.
did it on her own.
I know, right? She
Okay,
knows.
so I'm just gonna give my own self a shout out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In my post to win,
Yes.
I did a 10 cold cheeks on
cold
cold granite
Yes.
after passing out.
That's right. That's right.
I gave the show.
That's when Sarah double dipped under the. She got
that
the
was-
COVID
yes.
shot and the flu shot at the
Yes.
same time. She passed out on the
And
granite.
I loved Pam and Gus's How You Meet story. And everybody's actually How You Meet story.
That was great,
Yeah.
right?
That was a great episode.
It was
I
a
loved
Valentine's Day.
We'll do
How
that
did
again.
You guys meet? Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
That was
just have to
awesome.
go out to the public.
We're gonna have to go out to the public this time. Maybe
I know.
Susan with the she's living in the in-laws basement. I'm sure there's a great story there. But thank you, Kathy. Thank you.
I think we should go over into some IG Q&A.
Listen, if you guys, don't be afraid to come up and grab yourself a drink.
You guys, this is supposed to be fun for all.
Yes,
all
I don't
yous.
want all
So,
yous guys.
Yous guys, get yourself a drink.
It's a family thing, right?
Yeah. No one's
Listen,
underaged, right?
This is Elmhurst. There's no rules in Elmhurst. This is the Vegas
It's like the Outback Steakhouse
of the Outback Steakhouse.
of the west suburbs.
Oh yeah,
I said it here first.
Emily.
IG Q&A.
Kathy's rolling up. Do you want a straw, Kathy?
Oh yeah, she's.
I'll get you a McDonald's straw too. You know those thick ones.
Oh, those are the good ones.
It's like, why'd I drink this Diet Coke so fast? Yeah, come on up, guys. Get yourself a little libation. There you go. You're off the clock, I'm sure.
I know. Patrice has been the best, for real. She
Patrice
has
is the
been
best.
The best. The best.
I take people most serious when they not only have a lanyard on, but also a key attached to a lanyard. You know they mean
They're
business.
going places.
They got things happening. They got control over the environment.
Very good. So we're doing
Thank you, Patrice.
a live edition of IG Q&A.
Oh, man.
So who's got a question?
Yeah, any questions for Emily?
Or
Any questions
Wow.
for Jeff? No.
no.
Seriously,
Food.
any questions?
Live questions.
Susan in the basement.
Who's truly your favorite sibling?
I don't have that's not fair at all. That's not it's like a parent asking a parent who's
Yeah.
your favorite child. It's like deep down it's you, but it's you have to pretend like you are impartial. But no, I love all of my siblings similarly in different
Equally.
ways.
Yes.
They're all unique
Well, what do you
and
love?
beautiful.
So why don't we go through the list, Emily? What do
Okay.
you love about your older brother, my older brother, Frank?
He's just like he has no filter, and it's like the most like endearing but yet naturally funny person maybe on this planet, because he just keeps on talking, and what comes out of his mouth is like pure gold. And I always wish I had a camera on him at all times. and he can make me laugh probably like no other. But I just, we don't see him that much. So
Yeah.
But
No, he's
I
going
love him
through
the
some
best.
stuff. If
Yes.
you guys listen, he's going through some stuff. So we'll get him back on the show.
Yes.
Get him.
We're always
rolling.
in talks. He said he might have come today, but we're close. But he'll be back and having a good time soon.
What do you love about little sister Dana?
Little sister Dana, she's she is never afraid to tell it like it is.
Yeah.
No matter what your mood is, or
It's like the opposite of Frank, where Frank just kind of stream of consciousness.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of it's a mixed bag. Could be good, could be bad. Mostly self-incriminating, and is a little more deliberate in her intention.
Agreed. I would say that. But you have to love someone that will just give it to you like you deserve it in the best way. And she's an honest person, and she's very intelligent and smart, and she has experienced things that has made her into a certain type of a person that can kind of cut through the BS.
Well, I believe that's a testament to Pam and Gus, our parents, who raised us to be not only outspoken but also accountable for our actions, I think.
Exactly.
And I think we're all willing to admit when we mess up or when we say something or we hurt feelings.
Well, I
Some
think
of us,
you
it
and
might take-
I think you and I, particularly more than the rest, really hold on to that guilt a little bit more than the rest of the family.
Yeah,
like,
I hate it.
Like if we hurt someone's feelings, we won't be able to sleep.
Frank is the same way. But Frank, instead of calling up,
Not
he'll be
Dana.
like, I'm so sorry. Frank will give you a wall of text via the phone, which will be like, I'm not even kidding, 9 paragraphs long of like, let me explain myself. I'm so sorry. I can't, even if he's like, can't come to dinner or something, it's 9 paragraph
Yes, he'd
wall
be like,
of text.
I woke up this morning, I was feeling somewhat whatever.
I know. I'm the worst.
You're
I
the
suck.
worst.
I'm sorry. No, you're the best.
And then he'll be like, LOL. It's very confusing. He loves LOLing.
Dana's just like, not come and deal with it.
Deal with it.
But yeah, we're all, we're a tight team.
Yes,
So-
we are. The Morrow clan. Any other questions?
Susan, no, please, just commandeer the munches.
Sorry.
Give her,
I had
just
one
put a-
more. I'm just curious to know to what do you owe your success? Like what pivotal decision or at what moment did you say to yourself, God, am I glad I did that or met that person?
I've said, I would say it was in 3rd grade. I know it's weird, but it was when I did my first play ever. My first time on stage was at my grammar school, and it was in a production of Let George Do It. Obviously,
Very off Broadway.
Off Broadway.
Off Broadway.
But I played like King George the whatever during that time. What was King during?
We'll say the 3rd.
Aunt Fran,
Mom?
what, King George. You're
Or Betty.
Betty.
The
Who-
teachers.
George Washington, King George. What number of George was that? Let's say at George 23, 44. And so I got out on stage, and I remember my parents were in the audience. I'm sure my dad dragged himself down from Taylor Street to make a hot 3:15 p.m. ticket of Let George Do It. And I went on stage, and I had this accent, British accent that I learned from like nursery rhyme VHS tapes when we were kids. For some
Very
reason,
frightening ones.
like we'd always rent these nursery rhyme tapes that were like a constant in our house, which is like London's burning, London's burning, London's higher, fire, fire, pour water.
Terrifying.
Terrifying.
Oh my God. Like
oh,
holy.
roly poly, pickle paley, oh, I'm going to kill you. And like,
I don't know
we
why.
like fed these nursery rhymes, which I guess gave us all this, penchant for British accent at
I
a very
know.
young age. It wasn't from being like traveling to London town,
No.
taking the Concorde to London, So we, I don't know. And I got out there and I used what was in our house, and these were these videos, and I put it to an accent on stage. And I remember from that moment on, my folks were like, we're going to put you, if you want to do it, we're going to put you in every type of performance we can. Acting classes, local theater, community theater, Second City programs, all that stuff. So they really, instead of being like, what's this kid doing? Like, why isn't he, he should be dunking a basketball or whatever. Not that, like, there's not a lot of
I know.
Italian-American dunkers
I know,
out
right?
there.
I'm sure there's a couple.
Not at all. They all
No.
they have, no. But they're mostly Spanish, Emily.
Oh.
But we, so I think from that moment on, to answer your question, it was like, So yes, I know it's like cliche to say, owe it to my folks and my upbringing, but like they were very supportive. And so not only with driving me around to places to help nurture my flair for that, but also when we're around the family table, like that granular, like just, allowing me to be funny around the table, and then family parties allowing me to be funny. And then at, funeral lunches allowed me to get a little blue with the uncles. So yeah, that was it. But like the moment I think I knew I made it was right here at Elmhurst. No, was I think probably when I got home from Food Network Star, and I was gone for like 2.5 months. And what a lot of people don't know is like when you film a reality show, you're sequestered. Like there's no phones, there's no books, no music, not even a magazine, nothing to entertain you. It's the competition, and it's living in this house with these people that are all fighting for the same thing.
And bunk beds, right?
In bunk beds. I'm talking like IKEA children's match. Like what's smaller than a twin? I don't even know, but it was smaller than a twin. And I'm sleeping, a junior, yeah. And I'm like, we're sleeping, and it's like, and the guy above me's farting every night because he's like, I only eat, greens. And he's like, and it was like just like 2.5 months of this, and it was very, very taxing. And I remember when I was getting home, and I haven't seen my family, and Lorenzo was like barely 2 at that, so we had no concept of where the hell Daddy went, And I get out of that car, and this was like even being in like a black car, like they picked you up. It was like the first time I got a sign at the airport, it was like Jeff Morrow, and I was like, oh my God, that's for me. And I'm coming home, and I knew at that point I was top 2. So I didn't even think I didn't know I won, but I thought I knew because I had to go back in a couple weeks and go to the finale. I didn't have to compete anymore. It was like, it was ready to be judged live or taped. And so I left it up to fate, but I knew leaving that I was like, I have a good chance of winning this. I remember I got out of my car, and this was at our house in Elmwood Park, and I saw him in the window, and Sarah runs out, and Lorenzo runs out. He's like, Daddy. And I just remember him repeating, Daddy, miss me. Daddy, miss me. Daddy, miss me. His hair was falling out. It was bad. I was like, I think I ruined my child. He lost his hair when I left. Because he didn't have no concept, because there was no, we had one phone call every 7 to 10 days, barely. And they were 10 minutes timed and videotape. So you couldn't say like, I'm doing great, honey. So like the first calls was like, oh my God, I miss you. I love, how's everybody? Oh my God, it's great. And then like January came, and like February, there's like blizzards, and I'm calling. I'm like afraid to call home because she's like, Sarah's like, I guess you can't tell me nothing. She turns into a pink lady real quick. She's like, guess what? I don't know. How's Giada? It's like, want to know what happened here? Well, my mom was shoveling the driveway. She fell and fractured her elbow. That's what we're doing here. The porch screen's blew in because of the blizzard. Lorenzo's hair is falling out. But how's Bobby Flay? How's Giada? She hugging you? How's the hot tub? Right, because she doesn't know what's going on. It started out cordial, but then they progressively got more tense, the conversations, which were videotaped, which they've used like nothing of, obviously. But it was like, you're thinking I'm competing in like, the real, not even real world, but Big Brother or something where it's like co-eds in a hot tub.
Yeah.
Making weird decisions, getting drunk. Like that was not the experience at all.
It's my favorite kind of reality
So when I got
show.
out of that car, and there was like my son running up, and I heard his voice, because the hardest part about being gone was not like, because they'd wake you up at like 3 a.m. with video cameras, and there'd be half the time there'd be no hot water, and it was like torturous. It really was. Longest days, just no food. We're sitting waiting in a room with flies and garbage. It was crazy. I'm not even, one day I'll write a book when the NDA's done. But like I forgot, it was the homesickness, but to the point where like I couldn't remember what his voice, like Lorenzo's voice sounded like. You know what I mean? That's like a weird thing to visualize, like, auditorily, I guess. Like, how does he sound? Like if he were to talk to me right now, like, and I forgot, I saw his picture because we were allowed one picture each, or 2 pictures. It's like, what? Is this the joint? You know what I mean? Like 2 pictures. Like, digging behind the wall of their pictures, trying to get out.
No.
But I forgot how he moved. Like, I forgot how this, little boy that I left, like, moved through life and space. And it was just amazing rolling up in that car and, like, getting out of there and being like, Sarah's like, I made cookies and we're going to go out and we're going to see our friends. And it was like, to me, I was like, at that point, I was like, I made it. You know what I mean? Because I knew I was going to win. I knew I had the top spot. There's nothing else I could have done to win it. I felt confident in how I left that show. I mean, this was 11 years ago, and it's super fresh in my mind, that whole experience, to the point where I still have nightmares. I still have nightmares about Food Network star in Tony and Tina's wedding.
Oh, Jesus.
Like, all the time. More than Food Network star. Two very hard things I've done in my life to kind of get to this point that were instrumental in grooming me. But yeah, that was when I was like, okay, my life's about to change. And then you kind of wait, and then at that point, this is another fact. Sorry, Emily. I know we're like talking a lot, but we're all here, so I'm divulging a lot.
Yeah.
Being very, very open here. Before anybody knew in the public that I was in the cast of Food Network Star, not only did I know I won, by the time everybody knew that I was, like, the cast was released. Not only did nobody, I was done. I already won. I already shot the whole season of Sandwich King. So I had to go back to work and do everything normally per the contract and not quit my job and not do all this. So I'm, like, sitting there, like, cutting tomatoes, making club sandwiches. You know what I mean? And people are like, I didn't like this. This was crusty. Bread's still. I'm like, I'm gonna walk the hell out of here one day. And that was before the cast was even released. So I'm sitting there with all this knowledge for months. And then the show aired, and I was like, then I had to keep it under wraps for 13 weeks and not tell anybody. My parents, you guys knew. I think my immediate family knew, even though I wasn't supposed to tell them. I'm like, screw you. Like, how am I not supposed to tell my parents? Our lives are going to change forever. You knew in March, yeah, and it didn't air till June. Yep.
We had to wait until August.
Oh, it was exhausting. But yeah, that experience kind of was very, is a very definitive moment for me. So
Yeah.
that was the fourth time I auditioned for it. So I had signed myself up for it. First time I made it really far, I went to New York and did the final round for semifinals. And I didn't make it, and I was crushed. And then I took a year off, and then I kept going after that. And it was the last time. Mm-hmm. I told myself it was the last time I was auditioning for that show, 100%.
And you did it, Jeff. And
Yes,
then
I
look
did.
at you now. You're in Elmhurst.
What about your culinary skills? And how did you start getting involved in food and lunches and stuff like that?
Well, my first job was for a butcher shop, River Forest Market, and they had a butcher shop in back, and I got paid $3.62 an hour to clean fat and bloody sawdust off the floor and scrub cold fat pans in the back for mustachioed butchers who chain smoked and cut meat. Like, I mean, what was this, like the Upton Sinclair novel, or was this River Forest in the 80s? But Upton Sinclair wrote The Jungle. It's a little Dennis Miller. So from that moment on, and I loved it. Like, I loved working around. No, there's very little quitting in our family. But I don't think it was in us to quit most of the time, unless it was like a lot of cardio was involved.
Yeah.
Like soccer. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. This is like, you're going to drive me an hour to go run an hour?
Yeah.
And then I worked my way up, and then I moved down the street a couple months later to another, like a catering deli. And then, I don't know, just growing up in a big Italian-American family where food is central, you gain a respect for it, but you also realize from a young age the power of food. And it's also just a form of entertainment. I always loved being in the front of a house in a deli atmosphere, because to me that was a stage, right? You have the counter, you have the case, you got the meat, you got the interaction of slicing meat. Is that thin? Is that too thin? And I loved being on stage, but still cooking. I knew I was never going to, I say this frequently, but I knew I was never going to be the funniest or most successful stand-up comic or improviser. I never wanted to be like a 3-star Michelin chef or the best chef, but I could be the funniest chef in the world. And that was kind of like, when I figured that out, I was like, I got an angle. And then the sandwiches were I always made sandwich. Every job I had was more of a deli sandwich shop. So there it is.
You did it. All right.
Oh, when I made my 7th grade, I was, my mom got fed up with us because she was making 4 bag lunches a day. She's like, I can't do this anymore. And she's like, make your own damn lunches, especially if you're complaining about them. So we made our own lunches. And I realized quickly that if you separate all the meat from the bread, from the condiment, and construct it all at the lunch table fresh, a la minute, that you're going to have the best darn sandwich that hasn't been compressed by an apple or sitting there next to a banana or getting weird and congealed in this way. And that was from that moment I was like, it wasn't great for my popularity at the table. Didn't lead to any makeout sessions. Certainly.